God message today. The archangel didn't whisper. He never does. From the stillness of the unseen, a voice cracked through the silence like thunder woven in light. Open this, he said. But it wasn't just a message. It was a divine interruption. Time had grown impatient. Destiny was breathing heavier now. And Elijah, your soulmate, was unraveling in the shadows of his own confusion. His soul had cried out into the unknown, and heaven had heard. It was not mere coincidence that Seraphiel, the warrior archangel with wings of silver fire, stepped forward at this exact moment. His blade glowed, not with destruction, but with revelation. His eyes, vast galaxies of truth, burned through illusion. His tone didn't waver, it was thunder kissed with mercy. Your counterpart is falling, he said, and they don't even know it. Andromeda, the sacred bond between you and Elijah, was beginning to fracture, not because of mistakes, not because of time, but because forces not born of love had slipped through the veil. Shadows had whispered confusion. Spirits of delay had woven lies into the crevices of his mind, and someone in his space, was planting seeds of doubt every time your name echoed through his soul. He no longer knew what was true. He had begun to question the warmth that used to settle in his heart when your memory passed through him. Your energy once gave him peace. Now it made him restless. Seraphiel looked you in the soul, and he didn't ask. He declared, "Awaken," because this was no longer just about reunion. This wasn't about longing. This was about spiritual rescue. Elijah is not just aching. He is spiritually endangered. And you, Ariel, you carry the key. This connection between you two, it was forged in light before lifetimes unfolded. It is legacy. It is mission. It is sacred. You were sent into his life not just to love him, but to wake him up. And he was sent into yours to remind you who you truly are. But something has gone silent, not naturally, not by divine delay, but by interference. The silence has become a weapon. The distance has become a veil, and Elijah is drowning behind it. In the last 72 hours, the interference has grown. A person cloaked in jealousy, pretending to be comfort, has fed him confusion. This person saw the glow in his face when he remembered you, and they feared it, because love like this threatens anything built on false control. Elijah's environment is toxic now. The reflections are distorted. He is looking into mirrors held by people who never believed in soul unions, never cherished healing, never held light. His spirit remembers you, but his mind is fighting it. His heart is suffocating in fear. He has wept, but not tears that the world sees. His soul has cried out in silence. You, Ariel, have heard him in your dreams, in the pool behind your chest, in the moments when you whisper his name but don't understand why. That's not imagination. That's not delusion. That is divine communication. You've doubted, wondered if you were crazy, questioned if he was even the one, but deep down, your spirit never stopped knowing, and neither did his. But his knowing is now buried under layers of spiritual fog, and only divine intervention will clear it. Seraphiel says this: you must not chase, but you must choose. Choose alignment, choose remembrance, choose faith over fear. This love is not just personal, it is prophetic. It carries healing, not just for you, but for every bloodline you touch. Heaven did not seal this bond lightly, and heaven will not allow it to dissolve without a fight. But heaven needs your agreement. Elijah cannot see right now. You must be his vision. He cannot hear. You must be the vibration that awakens him. Don't knock on his door with words. Knock with energy. Stand in your alignment. Sit with his name in your heart. Meditate. Send light. Speak the truth into the spirit realm. And listen. Listen beyond the noise. Listen for the pull. It's in the next 24 hours, a moment is coming. Not man made, not emotional. A divine rift, a holy opening. If you respond spiritually, it will realign what has gone crooked. If you delay, the door will begin to shut, not forever, but painfully. Heaven is not passive. Heaven is not waiting. The angels are already in formation. Seraphiel's wings are wide. His blade is drawn. He will fight beside you, but not for you. This is your mission. You must remember what this is. This is not romance. This is remembrance. This is not desire. This is destiny. This is not fantasy. This is divine appointment. Your name has echoed across Elijah's soul, even in his doubt. He is not silent because he doesn't care. He is silent because he is afraid. He has been made to doubt his own knowing. But your energy still lives in his spirit. His soul still reaches for you when he sleeps. Right now, the spiritual war is at its peak. This is not exaggeration. This is sacred timing. Someone close to him has cursed your name through subtlety, planting thoughts, shifting moods, confusing the truth. They want him to forget, but your love is too loud to be erased. So now, you must rise. Not as a lover, but as a guardian. Not with panic, but with presence. This message is not poetic. It is prophetic. It is your divine summons. You've been asking for a sign. This is it. You've been pleading for guidance. This is it. You've been crying in silence. Heaven heard. Seraphil's voice roars through the ether now. Protect the bond. Stand in light. The next 24 hours hold the key. And know this. If you respond, angels will guard your reconnection. Divine order will move. The shift will begin. The fog will lift. Elijah will remember. Because even when minds forget, souls don't. And even when doubt screams, destiny still breathes. This is the hour. This is the intervention. This is your moment. And Seraphil, the archangel of sacred realignment, has spoken. Tap in. Receive. You were born for this battle, a spiritual war over love. In the quiet town of Maro's Edge, where twilight stretches like soft prayer over rooftops, a woman named Selah stood by the open window of her soul. She didn't know why her heart kept echoing his name, even after time tried to bury it. She had prayed, fasted, waited, but the ache never left. And it wasn't weakness, it was divine memory. Archangel Micah whispered to her that night, his voice cloaked in stars. You weren't chosen because you forgot. You were chosen because you remembered. Because even when her mind screamed to move on, her spirit stayed seated at the altar of a love unspoken. Meanwhile, across oceans of silence, Ezra walked with shadows in a city that never knew stillness. People surrounded him, voices constant, advice plenty, but none could silence the sound of her laughter that still rang in the halls of his heart. He'd been told it wasn't real, that she didn't care, that it was all in his head, but his soul, it bled. Ezra hadn't realized how deeply the manipulations had wrapped around him. A friend, a guide, someone he trusted, had slowly, subtly convinced him that Selah's absence meant abandonment, that her silence was cruelty, that the love they shared had been fantasy. But every night, his dreams betrayed that lie. Every streetlight flicker felt like a message. Every moment of stillness was haunted by the warmth of her energy. Selah could feel it too. She'd been feeling uneasy, restless, like a song she used to know was being sung somewhere, just out of reach. Not because she missed him out of longing, but because her spirit was receiving a signal, one sent not from the past, but from their connected future. Micah stepped in once more, his sword drawn, his wings aflame with urgency. There's been distortion, he said, not distance. Someone has draped confusion over his heart. His spirit is fogged by whispered lies and generational wounds disguised as wisdom. The enemy didn't come dressed in rage. No, it's see, and he didn't even know it. He thought letting her go was healing. He believed the voices, but his chest tightened every time her name surfaced in his soul. That tightness wasn't confusion. It was divine truth begging to be seen. In the hidden realm, Selah stood tall. She was not weak. She was not forgotten. She was assigned. She was given this connection because she could carry love through spiritual fire. And now the fire had returned, but not to destroy, to refine. Micah revealed the most dangerous twist of all. Someone close to Ezra, perhaps a sibling, a friend, even a mentor, was guiding him not toward peace, but away from it. They didn't fear Selah. They feared the power her union with Ezra would unlock. Legacy, healing, timeline shifts. When two anointed souls unite, the darkness trembles. That's why chaos surged every time they neared reconciliation. That's why confusion fell when clarity tried to rise. This was no accident. It was spiritual sabotage, and Micah did not speak to frighten her. He spoke to awaken her. Speak now, he said, not to him, but to his soul. Declare truth into the ether. You don't have to chase him physically. Anchor him spiritually. Selah closed her eyes. She remembered the first time Ezra looked at her like she held the sky. She remembered how he once said her voice felt like safety. She poured those memories into prayer, every syllable dripping in light, every breath a sword of intercession. You are not lost, she whispered to his soul. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. At that same hour, Ezra sat alone by the river in his city. A strange calm swept through him, and for a moment the lies went quiet. The pressure eased. He felt her, like a sunrise brushing against sorrow. Back in Marrow's Edge, Micah stood behind Selah. This is your assignment, he said, to speak peace when fear screams, to hold stillness like a sword. Because what was unfolding wasn't romantic failure, it was divine intervention. Ezra was approaching a spiritual crossroads, and in the next 3 hours, a choice would be made, not by logic, but by the voice that had been whispering inside him all along. A choice that would either shatter their covenant or awaken it. Micah gave her no timeline, only a truth. Stillness is not silence, it is strategy. If Ezra reached out with confusion, she would answer with clarity. If he shouted, she would whisper. If he pulled away, she would anchor deeper, not with desperation, with destiny. Because even if he forgot who he was, she remembered. She had seen the lion in him, even when he acted like a lamb. She knew his highest self, even when he was buried in fear. Selah didn't need to be understood, she needed to be aligned. In her stillness, power gathered, heaven watched, the battle raged. Micah circled overhead, sword drawn, guarding not just them, but their purpose. You are not lovers alone, he said. You are timeline breakers, pattern shifters, light workers sealed in covenant. And in this moment, the enemy's goal was not to wound, it was to confuse. But truth stands even when misunderstood. And Selah stood in that truth like a flame that would not dim. She didn't reach out in panic. She reached upward. She lit candles. She recited psalms. She sang over his soul in secret. She told heaven she remembered, and heaven answered. Ezra didn't know it yet, but something shifted. He would soon remember the truth buried beneath lies. And when that moment came, when the veil tore and the fog lifted, he would know. The love wasn't over. It was just delayed, and not because it was weak, but because it was dangerous to darkness. Type Amen to receive blessings 999. Let your heart answer the call. Let your spirit speak louder than silence. You were chosen not to chase, but to carry. This is your moment. This is your mission. Let light lead. Type yes if you believe in OD. Type 1111 if you believe in God.